Okay, before I even start talking, I'm just gonna say, I know the camera's zoomed out. I did it because it's the only way I can fit everything in frame here. So, now I'm going to talk about my collection, or physical collection, of the Metroid games themselves. So, I don't have an NES or Super Nintendo, so I don't own Metroid 1 or Super physically on like an actual Nintendo or NES or Super Nintendo cartridge, but I do own Super physically on my 3DS. Digitally, I mean. So, starting off with Metroid 1, I guess, I have a complicated relationship with this one. I don't really like it very much, not because it's a bad game, it's just it had some growing pains. I've only ever finished it twice, and I don't really plan to ever do it again because it's just not really my jam. But it's a classic and important game, and is the reason we even have this franchise today. And it's an absolutely wonderful game in a lot of ways, but it's bad in a lot of others. The gameplay's fun, the exploration is neat, but without a map or anything like that, it has its growing pains. But I do give the original Metroid 1 maybe a very generous 6 out of 10. But if you want to play Metroid 1 in the best possible way, might I recommend the remake? The absolutely fantastic remake. And all of these cartridges do work. I have a GBA for them. See? So I have a working GBA for them. And Zero Mission is like the best possible remake of any game ever, besides maybe Dead Space remake or RE4 remake. Fucking play this. You really, really should if you are into 2D action adventure games. It's only around maybe 3 or 4 hours long if you're not really trying to finish it as quickly as possible. But it's worth playing, and obviously, if you can get cartridges, you should just emulate them. You should just emulate or pirate them. Original Metroid 2. Same as the first game. That's Fusion. That's the first one. I respect it. I love it. And I think it's an important game in the franchise. But oh boy, is it hard to fucking play. It's rough. It had the same growing pains as the original game. But ultimately, I do respect it and love it very much, despite never finishing it myself. I've only finished the remake, played very little of the original. But it's a good game. And while we're on the topic of Metroid 2, the remake on 3DS. Goddamn, is this a good one? It's probably my favorite game in the series, besides Dread. And and Prime, at least. I did not mean to bump my phone there. But Samus Returns is a great, fantastic, wonderful remake, and I'm very happy it exists. And this is one of the games that introduced me to the series. I played Prime 1 and 2 back in the early 2000s, but I never finished them back in the day. But when Samus Returns came out and Other M, Other M and this game were my two main big introductions to the series that like actually got me to stick with it. And I know that sounds bad saying Other M got me to stick with this franchise. I know Other M is so bad, but we'll fucking get to it. I promise you that. But Samus Returns is peak 10 out of 10 game. No problems with it at all, besides maybe the tone and atmosphere in a couple of areas. It gets a little too triumphant near the end, but that's such a non-issue, I don't really care. But sitting this off to the side, now we're going to... Yeah, we're just going to skip to Metroid 4, because I don't have Super physically. Super's great. Love it. Zero problems with it, but I will say Fusion is better. Way better. I've finished Fusion about 8 or 6, 7 times throughout my life, and it's a 10 out of 10, really. No issues. This is a fucking horror game, and I will not listen to anyone saying it's not a horror game. It is very spooky. The SAX is a very effective and powerful enemy. It's kind of like the Xenomorph in Alien Isolation. It's constantly chasing you, and I know there's scripted events, but they're spooky and scary, and they're very well executed. Fusion is fantastic. You should very much play it if you have any interest in, 2D side-scrollers. This was available on the Wii U eShop as Virtual Console, but not 3DS for some reason, unless you were part of the Ambassador program, which barely anyone got into, but still. Oh shit. Okay. But yeah, Fusion's great. 10 out of 10. No real problems with this game whatsoever. The music is great, the graphics are great, the combat is really fun. And now on to the elephant in the room. This gorgeous, beautiful, fantastic 11 out of 10 game. Metroid Prime, not just the remastered, even the original. Quite possibly one of the best first-person shooters ever made. Genuinely mean that. And playing this remaster shows that this game holds up tremendously well. It is just so intelligently designed and so smartly made that it's amazing this game came out in 2002 on a fucking toaster of a console. But nah, Prime is fuck. Dude, this game is fuck. It's so beautiful, it's so fun. Samus controls like a tank, and she is so strong and powerful, and this game is a really, really fun power fantasy / sci-fi opera, I guess. The bosses are fantastic. I love the bosses in Prime 1. They're all good. At least most of them are good. The Hive Mecha, the Big Beetle, the fucking Incinerator Drone are all kind of mediocre, but they are also introductory bosses, so I'll give them a pass. And they have good theme music too. But Prime is beautiful, and I'm really happy with this alternative box art. You can just take the paper and flip around to show this piece. But this remaster is great. Absolutely wonderful. Buy it. It is $40. Buy this ASAP if you haven't already. Seriously, do it. And that's not me simping. This is genuinely just a great 10 out of 10 game. Beautiful experience. But I'm putting this beauty off to the side. Let's get to kind of the black sheep of the series. Not the other one. This funny little game. Why was this on the DS? It's a good game. Very good game. Prime Hunters is wonderful. But why was it on the DS and not the GameCube or Wii? It really should have been a Wii or GameCube title. But otherwise, I've only finished it once back in like 2009. And I am 22, so, you know, that was a long time ago. I was 8 when I finished this game originally. And the only time I ever did. But I played it a little bit recently, just the first few stages and maps, or planets, I mean, and it's alright. I mean, it's alright. Good music, really good graphics, really fun gunplay with Samus's arm cannon. And it's a good game. It's a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Not my favorite. The only real big problem is the recycled bosses being on almost every stage. They were kind of annoying. But fighting Psylocke, there he is. I don't know if, yeah, there we go. Psylocke and Candon, Kricken, all the other hunters were really fun fights, and I loved the lore this game had. But I don't have a ton of history with Prime Hunters, but this game is pretty good. It's 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just kind of there. But it's a good game, and I do recommend you play it if you have an original DS or an emulator. But again, it's a good game. I can't really say anything too bad about it, truth be told. It's fun as hell. And now, before I move on to the bad one and get angry, this beauty. I love Dread. This is the physical. I don't have the normal plastic case for it. I just have the steelbook, and I got this on eBay for about $50. Cartridge is right there. I keep my cartridges in this nice black case when I'm actually using them. I'm just putting them in the cases for the video. But Dread is wonderful. I've put about 32, maybe 34 runs into the game and have over 90 hours in it. So yeah, that should show you how much I really like Dread. I will say I think this game is better than Super and even Fusion in a ton of ways, but slightly worse in some. The only genuine criticism I have for Dread is that the fucking funny robots, they don't feel like the developers committed enough to them being a horror enemy. But that's it. That's the only criticism I have. And the music isn't memorable, but the music is still really good. The only theme I can think of and remember off the top of my head is Ravenbeaks, but that's not really a criticism. It's just something to point out, I guess. But Ravenbeak's theme is good, and I love Ravenbeak's fight all the more. Now, moving on to the Big Kahuna. Yeah, this beauty. Holy shit, I got this for $90 on eBay, and that was a fucking steal. The case and game is in perfect condition. 0 scratches on the disc, no dust, nothing. I've finished each game in this trilogy since I got it about twice. Prime 2, Prime 3, Prime 1. And after Prime Remastered existing, I'm never playing Prime 1 any other way but the fucking remaster. But, God, this steelbook is so nice looking. I love the black and blue and white-ish mixture. It's so good. And surprisingly, this came with all of the papers, instructions, art book, even the advertisements. But the disc is right there, beautifully and very well preserved, and I will be holding on to this for as long as I can in my collection. This is not going anywhere. Oh shit, tell me I can do this without dropping the disc. There we go. And I don't know how well that's showing up, but there is some artwork of Light Suit Samus, Prime 2 Samus there. Her gunship in the bottom of the, right there, where I'm pointing. But, Prime 3 is honestly my favorite of the trilogy, I think. Hot take, I think, but, you know, Prime 3 is fantastic. The entire trilogy is a 10 out of 10. Prime 2 has its issues, but Prime 2 is still Metroid Prime. It's fantastic and absolutely lovely. But 10 out of 10 for the entire Prime trilogy, though. And last but not least, this stupid piece of shit. Fuck this game. Throw it in the pile. I want to cut this disc with a pair of scissors. I'm surprised I haven't yet. Bad game. You already know why if you've been on the internet in the past, like, ever. So, fuck this game. 0 out of 10. Fuck you, Other M. Fuck you. Anyways, this was just a funny little video about my physical collection, and I hope I made you laugh with my shitty jokes. Peace out, I guess.